Now, I grew up in the 90s. All we did was play outside, and when we weren't playing outside, we were playing video games inside. That's pretty much it. We weren't complaining or figuring out what was going to be the best console, the best PC. We just were playing games. Now, back then, the only thing that mattered was playing with friends. It was the Pacific Northwest. It was gorgeous. We lived in Bellevue at the time. Bellevue being 20 minutes away from Nintendo's headquarters. My dad would work there. And there was something just so magical about that time. And something special would happen almost every day. It would start to rain. And when it started to rain, we'd have to choose whose house were we going to bring our Game Boys, sit on the couch, eat whatever snack the mom had for us, and play games together. And so I find myself asking myself the same question over and over again. What is it about console that is so special still? And while I look at the PC gaming space, one that I just got into at the end of last year, and I see the value, the extreme power that exists. I mean, my first game I played on it was Black Myth Wukong in 21:9 aspect ratio. It was gorgeous, but there still was something missing. There was still something there that I was like, what doesn't feel right? In order for me to understand what was going on, I had to go back. I had to go back to the 90s. I had to go back to my childhood to figure out what was so appealing. Is it nostalgia? Is it these blinders I have on? And at first I was like, yeah, I guess I'm just tied to a feeling I'm trying to chase down. But it wasn't. It was actually more specific than that. What is the reason why a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox is finding its way into the homes of different people who already have PCs, or worse yet, selling off the PC itself to go back to console? Because this is happening. There's something special, a special sauce. So naturally, as anybody does, they go into their garage, they whip out their Nintendo 64, come back into their office, and plug it in. Because this is all we needed growing up. This is it. We just needed the three things, I guess power is four, that is required to get any sort of video gaming done. And I think that's what I'm missing. I already made the coffee today, just for the sake, timing. There is a terminology that is thrown around quite a bit. It is called respecting the gamer. I want to be respected as a gamer. I don't want to feel like I'm being insulted. Now, I feel a lot of that has to do with gaming prices. I feel like that has to do with how gamers are being treated as far as pricing structures, online, and all that stuff. This isn't something that we had to deal with when we were younger. This is certainly not something that we had to worry about, because all of that, bye-bye Apple charger, was kind of baked in. First off, the devices themselves, like Nintendo 64, it didn't have any sort of online service. And so, if you wanted to play with your buddies, you better plan a sleepover. Now, you guys remember sleepovers, right? When you had all your friends over in one place, you guys some of you brought the gaming console, some of you already had them. I was the guy who brought the gaming console. I brought this guy, this $200 awesome piece of machinery. But again, all that I needed to bring was this, not this HDMI adapter, which I'm pretty sure I have an HDMI cable loose around here. Haha, yes. I didn't have to bring the adapter. It was just ready to go. But I'd plug it all in, we get everything going, and we were good to go. There was a simplicity that existed with this piece of machine. Now, as a gamer, I'm not necessarily looking to be respected by a specific company. I'm looking for a specific experience to exist. Again, growing up, sure, the nostalgia is there. It's an incredible nostalgia bomb. But this right here is the exact experience that I'm looking for in modern day gaming. It's that I'm plugging in the peripherals, whatever is necessary. I'm turning on the device itself, and without any hoopla, hootenanny, or any sort of issue, I am presented with the game. I am presented with the experience. I am here to actually enjoy what is before me. I don't want something in between that. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with PC gaming. I think that actually PC gaming is one of the coolest things out there. I'm new to it, I have a rig. But there is something so inherently special, so locked into the console experience, And it's not because it has exclusives, it's not because of nostalgia, it's because of where you are in life. A lot of things change. I'm a father of 2 children. One's losing her teeth and the other's losing his mind. These kids run my life, and having limited amount of time to enjoy my hobby, I'm looking for experiences that are going to be tailor-made for me. I don't want to have to be a part of the process. To some, that freedom is exciting. They like to be able to change settings, adjust things on the go, and be given all of the things at their fingertips. I would equate it to building Gundam, right? And though I like to build Gundams, it is kind of like I want to go and play with the action figure. I want to go and have fun with it. I don't necessarily want to put all the pieces together and build the thing that is going to be the experience that I'm going to have. I want my experience handed to me. And for myself, that came as early as Nintendo 64 with games like Shadows of the Empire. Now, I think it goes without saying that this is one of the most unsubtle of flexes that I can do. Shadows of the Empire on Nintendo 64, one of the greatest Star Wars games ever to exist, I believe. But there's a sentiment here I'm trying to hit home, hopefully, in all of the funny 90s nostalgia and stuff like that, is that gaming should be something that is a pastime. Gaming should be something that when you look to it, it's something you get to enjoy uninterrupted. I know I, for one, have found myself in these settings, in this, that, and the other of the PC gaming space, but also there isn't a separation. There isn't a designated experience to be had. And while gaming on a console is by no means any better than gaming on PC, what I find is that the device itself is beckoning me to play it. And this is the console-specific experience. I believe that in general, console gaming, it is made for one purpose and one purpose alone. Now, the more and more I play games on the Steam Deck, the Switch, or the PlayStation 5, the more I realize I am called to that style of gaming because of the set parameters. Because I know when I turn on the game itself, it is going to be ready to go. I don't have other options. The only option is to play. And this kind of experience exists on PC, except I found myself not actually feeling like I was gaming, but more like I was working. This is totally a me problem. I'm not saying it's a you problem, but I think there are others out there that share the sentiment, primarily because I have seen people in the Discord, which is exploding, by the way, link in the description. They're talking about how they're selling off their PC to go back to console gaming. If anything else, it's speaking to the fact that people just want to start playing games and not worry about much other than that. So console is where I find myself leaning towards. The PC experience was incredible, spent about a year on it, but there's just something missing in that experience overall for me as someone who is obsessed with the console experience and obsessed what is tailor-made for me to enjoy. So I hope this spoke to you guys in a certain way. If you're curious about stuff that I have, like these books, I'll tell you about them. Comment below what you want to know, and maybe I'll share a video about it. But other than that, go Mariners, and as always, play more and be kind.